One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report and paves his way. Legend in the making, day by day.
Shit, what's good with everybody, man? Much love, honor, respect to everybody up in the Breakfast Club, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. You freaking legends. What's good with everybody, man? Hopefully you all enjoyed your weekend, man, and didn't, hopefully you didn't blow up your face like I did a couple of weekends ago. But hey, we're here. We're having a good ass time. We're here and totally got some good rest last night, which is pretty rare for me on a Monday, by the way. Usually I wake up and I'm like, little hungover or something like that, but I actually did. I was responsible, chat.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into today's madness, we do have some things to discuss. We have President Trump and French President Macron, however you say his name, by the way, meet here in Washington, D.C., and they're going to be also discussing the Russia-Ukraine war as well. And there's some UN discussion that we're going to briefly go over about the Russia-Ukraine war. And then, believe it or not, we're not actually going to see, this is me being transparent up front with you guys. We're not going to actually see President Trump and French President Macron meet on this live stream. It's not going to happen because they come out at 1 p.m. my time, 1 p.m. CST, 2 p.m. EST. But I figured, you know what, this is a big ordeal. So let's go ahead and talk about it and have it on the title so you guys know that it is actively happening, as I am a news source, ladies and gentlemen. It is true. It's true. All right. Before we get into all of it, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's number one metric of all of YouTube. And it's free, by the way. If you guys are brand new to the show, hit that subscribe button down below because it's also free, man. Also, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my lifestyle, but of the show, as well as Millennial Food Time. Get down with your bad self over there, man. And please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month, man. We make sure that we're not going to be breaking the bank, man. And if this will break the bank, don't do it. Don't do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't be doing that. I don't want to put anyone in a position at all, but listen, it helps out the show immensely, though, if you guys would sign up as a member, man. And last but not least, man, of course, every single super chat, super sticker, gifted membership signups, all of those are going to be displayed onto the screen and onto the live and will be shouted out live. But of course, if you guys would like to help out the show monetarily and skip that brutal YouTube 30% cut, we have these scrolling for the remainder of the show. And of course, I will shout you guys out and your message on that platform and all that stuff. So we'll allow this to scroll for the remainder of the show, man. But before we get into the madness, I wanted to go ahead and say what's up to the Breakfast Club. We got brother Steve Easy up in the building. We got Jess White as well over there in Australia, down under. What's up, Tiffany, as well as Charles from down under as well. Yes, it is Monday. For you, it is Tuesday. I know. You and Jess are the only people here that are on Tuesday, all right? We all are Monday people right now. What's up, brother KP, as well? Hit that like button. Absolutely, bro. Redneck Side says, I got fucked up last night. LOL on the burning room. Hey, listen, man, there's nothing wrong with that at all. I've gotten lit multiple times while I was live. You know what I mean? Multiple times. Back in the day on Twitch, oh my God, it used to be all the time. I used to get hammered. Now I'm glad that I don't do that shit anymore. You know, probably not the best thing to do. But once in a while, I still love to do that shit, Redneck Side. So don't let anyone fucking make you feel bad about that shit. Brother Lee Lance up in the building. Hopefully you're doing fantastic as well as Rabbit of Chaos, man. Good to see everybody. Dwayne Martin, as always, man. Always a pleasure, kind sir. We got Steve Posey as well. Always appreciate him. Ragnar, what's up, man? Good morning. Good morning. As well as AU up in the building. What's up? Am I getting blocked? No, you're not blocked, cuh. I see you. I see you just fine. Yep. No, we see everyone's comments. So far, so good. That like is available. Don't be a freeloader and hit that motherfucker. Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh,
Well, I added the fucker, by the way, Steve. I know you just said mother, but I knew what you meant. It was a short one. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Like I said. Yeah, no cases of Mondays here, boys. No, not for us, at least. Not for us. How you been, Mike? I've been fantastic. It's been a lot going on in the media, as everyone kind of sees. It's been that way for, I mean, realistically, for the last 6 months. But since definitely the last 30 days, it's also been kind of crazy as well. But hopefully you're doing fantastic as well, Ragnar. I got smashed last night for no reason. That sounds what I did last night. That's fantastic. You got your little, well, not these. This is water. You know what I mean? Beers are water, dude. But, you know, I had me some 60-40s. Usually I have Makers and Coke, by the way, but I just switched it up last night just to, you know, I Makers and Coke is like a high-end Jack and Coke. You know, people look at me and they're like, you're cutting Makers with Coke, dude? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. It's a high-end Jack and Coke. So anyways, I opened up a brand new bottle of Jack, the biggest bottle they got, you know, and had that last night. Yeah, we get down there about selves. It's very true, chat. I've been sober for a month. It sucks. Steve, are you still sober? Oh my God. Dude, I can only imagine. I thought for damn sure you'd be able to by now, but I guess I didn't think of the blood thinners, dude. Oh man. Lappy, what's good, man? Good morning, kind sir. Hopefully you're doing fantastic as well as VT. I haven't drank in 2 months myself. That is fantastic, you guys. Keep going with it. Keep going with it because it's good for you not to, you know? I'm not going to necessarily sit here and tell anybody they should do something that's going to destroy them, you know? But yeah, it was a good time. That's good, Redneck Side. What's up, Gary? Good to see you, by the way. Good morning, kind sir. Mike doesn't do that anymore. Roberto does it better, though. Shit, fuck Roberto. He's the op, dude. He's always been the op. Oh, shit. Woke up at midnight and smashed off a bottle of tequila and slept like a baby, following in my bros Steve and Mike's footprints. Don't be saying shit like that. What's up, Hardwire? Good to see you, by the way. Haven't smoked cigarettes since October 31st. That's fantastic too, dude. Absolutely. Good on anybody that's willing to quit cigarettes. So that's probably one of the worst habits us human beings can really take on. Aside from maybe like fentanyl and shit, you know. The obvious shit. Wildcard, good morning, man. Good to see you as well as Guardian Riders. Shit, it has been a minute since we've seen Brother Nitro in the chat. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing fantastic. As well as Brother Joseph up in Canada, man. Always appreciate you saying good morning, Mr. Ball Breakfast Crew, BNC, and can't forget the hater. Stop the cat.
Stop the cat.
Yes, sir. Stop the cat. All right. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Like I said. What's up, Brother Beezer? Good to see you, my man. Good morning. Good morning. So, like I said, everybody, I have it in the title right here, right now, that President Trump and French President Macron, I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry, everybody. But they're meeting today, and we're not covering them actually meeting today because it's at 1 p.m. my time. It's only 10 a.m. right now, 10:09. So we're not going to be able to see that, but we do still have a lot of stuff to discuss. It is a headline of what's happening today, so you guys will be able to see that later on today. As by the way, good morning, Kathy. Hopefully you're doing fantastic as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this.
Good morning. Thank you so much for waking up with us bright and early here on Live Now from Fox. It's Monday morning, February 24th.
Okay, now they're maxed out.
I'm Jeanette Francine. A lot of hot topics to get to on this Monday,
Macaroni?
ranging from
Macaroni
conflict in the Middle East, giving you a live look out in Jerusalem, Israel, here at 5:57 on the East Coast. We also have some updates out in the Big Apple, giving you a live look outside of our Fox television studios out in New York City. We'll be checking in with our Fox 5 New York team later on in the morning as we have some updates about a migrant shelter that was placed at a hotel. We'll also be heading out to the Vatican City to get an update.
We will get an update for the Pope
on Pope Francis, giving you a live look outside of Gemelli Hospital. We'll be checking in with Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen. But before we get to those
Fox News
headlines, we are going to begin stateside, giving you a live look at the White House. This as today, President Donald Trump is expected to meet with French President Emmanuel Macron. This comes as Trump hardens his stance towards Ukraine. Joining us live this morning to further discuss the very latest on this anticipated trip is none other than political historian and analyst Rich Rubino. Rich, good morning to you. Always a pleasure having you on the show.
Okay, now I believe he's going to speak on Trump, hosting the president over there. So it's going to be interesting. I wish that the conversation was happening now so I could live stream it and discuss it with you guys, because I know that this conversation is going to be about Russia, Ukraine. And as you guys know, I follow the money. I love, holding that kind of shit accountable. So all of us over here, at least, are over the whole Ukraine bit.
So
get it over with.
Again.
So first, let's contextualize this trip as it relates to U.S. and French relations. For those that aren't familiar with that stance, how are relations between the U.S. and France? What's the historical significance of this?
Man, fuck France too, by the way. Just hot take. I had to say that because French people, well, not French people, but you know how it is. You know how it is. I'm just saying, fuck France. What's up, Tad? Saying morning all. Hope you're all well. I'm doing fantastic. This morning. Got some good rest and, feeling good over here. Hopefully you're doing fantastic over there. And, well, I guess UK right now, it's early afternoon.
This trip.
Yes, well, so certainly the United States and France have been allies for quite some time, but Donald Trump has a different view of the transatlantic alliance. For example, he talks about NATO. Other presidents have said that they are basically unreserved supporters of NATO. Donald Trump has said that if the other countries don't pay the 2% of.
Wow, Mr. Messer saying Zelensky is offering resignation in return for NATO acceptance. He wants protection for himself. Yeah, I would say no. We're not gonna do that. We're not going to do that. Zelensky, fuck your offering. You know what I mean? You're never going to be dealing with, you're not going to be in this position again. You're going to be gone here in what? Fucking a few more months? Who gives a shit? We'll wait your stupid ass out for 3 months so we don't have war for the rest of our fucking lives. Yeah, we'll wait it out 3 months, stupid ass.
In defense spending that's required, that potentially the United
Johnny
States
Reno
could be
up in here.
NATO. So he has a little bit different position, but that's not only with France, that's respectively with all other countries in Europe. But in terms of France, I think the big issue is really what to do about Ukraine. I think that France fears this and Britain fears this, and other countries in Europe fear that the United States will support what they believe is a surrender to Russia in terms of the Russian-Ukraine war. That's their essential belief. Some people in Britain, for example, are comparing it to Neville Chamberlain back in 1938. So that's kind of the argument that they're making. You're going to see Donald Trump and Mr. Macron probably negotiating and talking about what potentially could be the final solution, if you will, between Russia and Ukraine. And it's a very different dynamic than I think the United States relationships with other the French relationships with Donald Trump's predecessors.
Yeah, Rich, that actually leads into my next question. We know today marks 3 years since the start of the war between Russia and Ukraine. And we've heard the French president say he's warned President Donald Trump about concerns over Russia's president, Vladimir Putin, against the war. Can you highlight and break down these specific concerns? And then again, do you expect these to be the highlighted discussions between the two gentlemen?
I do think it's going to be the highlight of discussions. They have a little bit of relationship from Donald Trump's previous term, so we'll see if Mr. Macron can try to work that somewhere to try to form.
What's up, Adriano?
To try to get on Donald Trump's positive vantage point, if you will. But I do think so. I do think that's going to be the main thing. That's going to be the main area of discussion. I think that Donald Trump has a
man. I really wish this freaking discussion was happening right now. That'd be fucking lit, but it's not. It's happening way later.
Different view of the Ukraine than Joe Biden. Joe Biden was a lot more hawkish on the Ukraine, for example. I think that Donald Trump and his administration.
Shit, Brother Beezer ordering some biscuits and gravy for the Breakfast Club. Shit, you bring enough for everyone, Beezer?
Administration has suggested that it's quote unquote unrealistic for Ukraine, for example, to get into NATO. That's something that I think that the French and certainly the British and others would really want to have happen. So it's going to be a very
brother so loud up in the building. Good day, Mike and friends. Hope you're all well. Absolutely. Hope you're doing fantastic as well. Good morning to you.
Intense discussion about that. Also, Donald Trump, unlike Joe Biden, is willing to meet with the Russians. Joe Biden, once Russia invaded the Ukraine, decided that he was a autocrat.
KP, I was waiting for you to save me, bro.
And that he was somebody that the United States could not deal with. So obviously they had to adjust to the new administration in Washington that is more at least sympathetic to there being some sort of a solution between Russia and Ukraine. But I think the I think the French rather are trepidatious that agreement could be something that is more beneficial to Russia than something that would preserve the status of Ukraine.
You mentioned NATO, Rich, and I'm glad you did so because in recent talks, we know that.
Well, maybe I will, Frank. Maybe I will. I do have some lunch plans today, and so that's the only thing that would run into that. But because it's not, usually I just go out by myself. I do that shit all the time. But I am going to be meeting up with some family today, so I may or may not be able to work around that. We'll see.
I'll
let you guys know, though.
Zelensky has mentioned that if a deal can be made with NATO, he'll step down. With your expertise, is that the best thing for Ukraine as they are amid a war with Russia?
I think so. I think that's the casus belli because Ukraine, their biggest fear is their security and the potential that they will no longer be a nation. If they're in NATO, then Article 5 of the NATO Charter guarantees that if they are invaded by an outside power, that means that all 32 NATO countries have to come to their defense. So if Russia were to invade the Ukraine, then under the Charter, all 32 countries would come to the defense, which would make it a lot less likely for Russia to invade the Ukraine. The only time Article 5 has been used, by the way, was after the September 11th hijackings when other countries came to defend the United States. Obviously, Russia, part of the reason they invaded Ukraine in the first place is they were trying to stop NATO expansion. It really began in the 90s with Czech Republic, Poland, and Hungary. I think that the Russians view it that there was an agreement between Gorbachev and the
brother Joker, by the way, good morning to you.
George H.
How you doing,
Bush
man?
Administration that essentially the United States would not continue to expand NATO, but they've been expanding into countries that are a little bit too close to comfort for Russia. Russia is kind of using that as a red line, saying Ukraine is the one country, saying Ukraine will not be allowed into NATO and no other countries in Europe will be allowed.
Hey, you know what? Fuck it. We're going all in, Johnny Reno. It's 4:20 somewhere, and it's also 5 o'clock somewhere. So let's just go ahead and, let's just make it a party. Cheers to everybody, man. Hopefully you guys are having a good one so far. Hit that like button.
And that's really, I think, kind of the inflection point, if you will, in this tete-a-tete.
Yeah, Rich, we also know that Zelensky said he wants President Trump to be more than a mediator. For many people, that statement was confusing because, as you know, President Donald Trump does not shy away.
Allegedly. Good morning to you. Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday morning so far. I know that so far we are too.
From his direct opinion, and
many Emerald,
people feel he has been
you
very
too. Good morning.
What he wants to happen from this conflict.
Yes, I think that.
Yeah, VT, I have a bad mouth, dude. It's something that I definitely don't recommend. I recommend people to be wearing headphones. I definitely don't recommend you have your children around when I'm speaking because I just have a potty mouth, always have. It's always been a thing. I'm a real sailor for real. I mean, I'm an actual pirate. Look at me, I I gotta, this is just the way of the road. Look like a duck, quack like a duck. Maybe you are a duck. And yeah, I'm a real sailor, motherfucker.
There are kind of two ways you can do this. One of them is just the United States uses their good offices like they did, for example, to end the war under the Clinton administrations in the Balkans, or they can take a position
Yo, what the
where
fuck?
they're essentially advocating for one
Yo,
leader.
Beezer, coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. Bro, my man, not only you helping us or helping me, you're helping everybody here, man. So thank you for your contribution and helping out the channel, man. Very much appreciate that, kind sir.
Leader over the other.
Damn.
I think many believe that potentially that that, for example, in the Middle East, that the Trump administration tends to favor.
Got to have a leg up on the competition, cuh. That's not me. That's their side, by the way. That robot sound, that is not us. That is the mainstream.
They trend to favor Israel, for example. So I think that Mr. Zelensky probably fears that in that same vein that the Trump administration is very much.
Well, Steve, think about it. If I lose the other leg, then I can be as tall as I want. Shit. What's up, brother Papa Penguin? Hopefully you're doing fantastic this morning. I know we are, man.
Administration that tends to favor Russia, and that's not what they want. They would rather have them either be somebody administration like the Biden administration, which is very sympathetic to them, or an administration that favors some sort of.
Are we not men, my dude? Good to see you.
But is simply using the good offices, using the offices of the United States to try to negotiate a settlement. He does not want the United States to be there as a advocate of the Russian side.
Rich, looking ahead this week, we know that President Donald Trump will be meeting with the UK Prime Minister.
I do have some of those. KP. And this, by the way, this one that I'm smoking on right this second, look at this, is 12,000 milligrams. 12,000. This purple train wreck. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, homie. We get down with our bad selves around these parts.
Mr. Keir Starmer discuss the importance of this trip. Are you expecting those same talks as it relates to international conflicts? We have seen the UK very vocal as it relates to the conflict in the Middle East, as it relates to Israel and Hamas. Are you also thinking they might highlight that topic?
Yes, I do. This is the flagship issue of pretty much the transatlantic alliance. He's meeting with both nuclear powers in Europe. First it was France, and then it's going to be Great Britain. I think that he has a little bit more adversarial relationship sometimes with the British Prime Minister. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they negotiate, to see if they have a press conference where they talk about both of their sides. But England, just like France,
yo, brother, AU up in the building. Good to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing good.
Is very much sympathetic to the Ukraine. And I think they're going to say that there should not be any sort of a surrender, that any sort of an agreement is something that's going to benefit the Ukraine. They're also probably going to make unreserved advocacy of the Ukraine joining NATO, which is something that I think is almost a non-starter.
It is. I'm really hoping that everyone gets their head out of their ass regarding NATO. NATO, let's just go ahead and say this. My take on it, 100%. Just like every other agency and bullshit that we have in this world, if it's not for Americans, defund it. You know what I mean? If it's not in the benefit of Americans, defund it. Shit. I had to reset my camera. Yeah, defund NATO, defund the UN, defund EU, defund all of it. Fuck all this shit. Honestly, y'all making too much of an issue out of fucking everything. And we pay for all of those fucking issues. What do you think we are,
For the Trump administration. So it'll be very interesting to see. Obviously, Trump has a different tact on foreign policy, America First foreign policy, which is different than his predecessor, Joe Biden. I think that Joe Biden.
Yo, brother GEG, good to see you.
Was obviously very sympathetic to the Ukraine, but I think that it's going to be interesting as the British Prime Minister.
I hate when people say the Ukraine. The Ukraine. Do you ever hear anybody say the Russia? No, it's Russia. And Ukraine is Ukraine. I never understood that. The Ukraine. Fuck. Who gives a shit about the?
Obviously very sympathetic to the Ukraine, but I think that it's going to be interesting as the British Prime Minister, as well as the British Prime Minister and the French President try to get Donald Trump to be more sympathetic to the Ukrainian side, and that's probably going to take up the bulk of their conversations.
You got it, Johnny Reno.
Political analyst and historian Rich Rubino, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your dialogue and perspective, Rich. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday.
Thank you so much for having me on again.
Thank you. And as we further discuss this headline, again, President Donald Trump to host French President Emmanuel Macron on this Monday. A quick content reminder for you. Trump is expected to welcome Macron at the White House around 12:15.
Yep, 12:15 Eastern, and then 2 p.m. Eastern, they're speaking.
p.m. Eastern time. So that'll happen this afternoon. Of course, once the cameras are set and we get audio, we'll be sharing that with you right here on Live Now from Fox. 6:07 here on the East Coast. Let's take our first 2-minute commercial.
Hell no, we're not taking a fucking break. We are not taking a break. We're skipping right through this shit. All right, let's see what is going on here. European Union leaders arrive in Ukraine. They're arriving by train. Let's see what the fuck is going on here.
6:09 here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox as we continue with your top stories and headlines this Monday
good morning.
We do want to point out that the country on this day, it marks 3 years of the war against Russia.
Yeah, we are like 1,100 days into this fucked up war.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa, they both arrived in Kyiv, Ukraine early this Monday ahead of events to mark the start of the war 3 years ago. An emergency summit is also set to be held by leaders of the 27 European countries on March 6th. This is regarding Ukraine and Europe's security. I can tell you all at this hour, an emergency summit is underway. I actually want to give you a live
look. Pablo, gotta love when they send out those notifications all late as fuck. You know, hey, it's all good. It's all good. Welcome, hanging out with us. Good morning. Good morning.
Inside, I won't pot up the audio just yet, but just to further show how that Support Ukraine Summit is underway, you can see how different leaders are speaking and having a panel discussion. The last time we listened in, the audio was not in English.
Yeah, fuck these panel discussions, dude.
But of course, once that
you've got like one person on here on the entire thing that is even like relatively, got a clue.
Audio does turn to English, we will share it with you right here on Live Now from Fox. As we further discuss the very latest of this news alert, we do know that the European leaders' visit comes after U.S. President Donald Trump reversed course on support for Ukraine and on the United States' commitment to defending its European allies. There are several events slated today, as I just mentioned. Of course, we were allowed a camera inside that event I just showed you, but at the moment it was not in English. Of course, once that translation
I've never really asked that. I've never bared that question, VT, and I would assume no. But that's kind of an interesting take, but I would absolutely say fuck no.
Happens.
I don't think Americans and NATO itself would ever allow something like that. I just don't think at all.
We'll bring it to you right here.
I mean, you got to think of why NATO was created, and you got to remember, the Soviets aren't a thing anymore like that. But I don't know, man. NATO is very touchy. This is exactly why I don't even think we should reform it. I think we should 100% defund it and get the fuck out of that whole garbage ass organization.
On Live Now from Fox. As we further discuss this event, we want to hear from you this morning. We have a poll we want to share with you.
Check it out.
Take a look at your screen.
Okay, so the poll that they're asking, man, I should just copy and paste, but I can't. I'd have to type out this whole fucking thing to do the whole thing. But the poll is, do you think it's right U.S. President Donald Trump reversed course on support for Ukraine? Yes, no, or indifferent. I think that is a good question to bear. And we will find out those results here in a little bit while we're live streaming this.
As I just mentioned, it's been now 3 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and make a poll like this. Let me go ahead and go over to my YouTube channel. So, you know, you guys don't have to tell me straight out and like be like, hey, I'm in support of this, when a lot of people don't want to say what they're in support of. So a poll is a little easier because, you know, you don't have to, I don't know who's answering what. So let me go ahead and see. Do you think it's right? So do you think it's right that Donald Trump, dang it, I'm trying to type here. Donald. Why isn't it type? There we go. Trump. I've got a messed up keyboard right now. You think it's right that Donald Trump changed support? That's what it will be. Change support for Ukraine. And then add option indifferent. Because some people don't care. Okay, let's see if it's up. Okay, go ahead and vote in the chat right there. Boom. Do you think it's right? Do you guys think it's right that Donald Trump changed support for Ukraine? Yes, no, or indifferent? Go ahead and chat, or go ahead and vote, everybody in the chat.
Of Ukraine. We're asking you this morning, do you think it's right U.S. President Donald Trump reversed course on support for Ukraine? 3 options this morning: yes, no, or indifferent. You can go to livenowfox.com/connect to make your selection, or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Throughout the morning, we'll share your responses in real time. 6:11 here on the East Coast. We're going to go ahead and go to our second 2-minute commercial break of the hour.
No, we're not.
When we come
We're
back,
skipping
staying
right
on
past
top of
that.
your top story.
Skipping right past that bullshit. All right, we are going to get a little update from Pope Francis. Stuck. That music is stuck in my head, dude. All right, back to this. Let's get an update.
6:14 is the time, and welcome back to Live Now from Fox at this hour, giving you a live look
Yo,
out
Martin.
in Vatican City outside of Gemelli Hospital. As we know, Pope Francis, his health status is in limbo this morning, as hospital staff in Rome are closely monitoring Pope Francis as he battles multiple scares, including pneumonia. While double pneumonia can be a devastating outcome, it can be especially damaging for the elderly. Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen joining us live this morning outside the medical center with the very latest on his condition. Connor, good morning.
Gina, here in Rome, Pope Francis is still in critical condition. New test results have given a better picture of his overall situation. But the latest we've heard from the Vatican is that Pope Francis slept last night and is now resting.
Well, got to remember why this recent war that they've been in for 1,100 days. You got to remember why that war even sparked up. You know, Putin said we don't want NATO on our border. We don't want that shit. And guess what? NATO was on their border. It's like, fuck, dude, what are you going to do? Of course. Yeah, this is the whole reason why we got into a fucked up situation in the first place.
We're worried about him. I don't mind admitting that.
Concerns are growing over Pope Francis's health. New blood tests show signs the 88-year-old is experiencing early kidney failure. But doctors at Rome's Gemelli Hospital say it is under control. While he is in critical condition, Vatican officials on Sunday said Pope
Be good
Francis
out there, brother Johnny Reno. Always appreciate you, my man.
Was alert and, quote, well-oriented.
He's taught us a lot about strength and weakness.
Pope Francis was supposed to celebrate Sunday morning Mass in St. Peter's Basilica. Instead, he took to X to show gratitude for the outpouring of prayers and letters. The pontiff was first hospitalized on February 14th for bronchitis. He later developed double pneumonia and is still receiving supplemental oxygen.
We are aware of how terrible it is.
Over the weekend, churches around the world called on God to help Francis heal.
He's I think, one of the greatest popes we've had.
Especially the faithful across.
Yes, that is what that means. Financial support, definitely. I think that's what they meant in that context. I think so.
His home country of Argentina.
We also pray with all the church that he can recover so he can continue working on the mission God has given him.
Meanwhile, prayer sessions continue outside the hospital. The Vatican is notoriously guarded when it comes to the Pope's health and prognosis. Pope Francis is being kept in his own private suite here at the Gemelli Hospital, where people have been gathering here outside to pray, leave candles, flowers, right here at the statue
and
of
smoke.
Pope John Paul II, who was also a patient here. We've also been told by the Vatican that they are planning a rosary ceremony outside St. Peter's Basilica tonight. Gine?
Fox News correspondent Connor Hansen, always a pleasure. Connor, we've been following this feed for the past 2 weeks. We even saw an influx of law enforcement arriving there. As you can imagine, people are trying to rush inside to see the Pope in real time and be by his bedside. What's the mood been like in that area? You're literally there. You're surrounded by people who are, as you mentioned, leaving flowers and having moments of silence.
Oh, shit. Hardwire's feeling the censorship. Shit. Feels ultra bad, dude. Well, I see you now.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We have seen a lot of police here as well, just sort of trying to manage the crowds. Right now, as you can imagine, a lot of media from all over the world has gathered to cover this story, on top of all the well-wishers who have flown in either from other parts of Rome or from around the world to pray and be close to the Pope. But it's safe to say nobody's getting anywhere close to that private suite of the hospital. It is highly guarded, probably one of the most secure places in the world right now.
Great point. Connor Hansen, always a pleasure having you join us here on Live Now from Fox. Thank you so much for doing so, and have a great rest of your day.
Well, see, the problem is we also rewarded people to exploit the asylum-seeking process here in the United States. We definitely enabled that. It was a lot of loopholes and shit that was being used, but we also, at the same time, it wasn't just loopholes. Now we gave them incentive to do it all the way around the world to come here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And as we further break out this headline this Monday morning, this coming down from Vatican News, take a look at your screen. They say, quote, Pope Francis had
coming straight from the Vatican.
Restful 10th night in the hospital, according to the Holy See press office. They say, quote, the night went well, the Pope slept and is resting, end quote. He is receiving treatment for double pneumonia at Rome's Gemelli Hospital.
With double pneumonia, and, he's got pneumonia in both of his lungs. 88 years old. Yeah, wild card. You can kind of guess where this is going to go. And I hate to say that. I mean, I really hope dude pulls through, but you're 88 years old, dude. There's your body can't fight that shit at that kind of age, dude. Like, it's just too, even for young people, that would be hard.
Speaking of Gemelli Hospital, I want to give you another live look outside here at 618 on the East Coast. You can see the law enforcement vehicles that Connor just alluded to, as well as the influx of people just standing outside.
Yeah, Brother Code, good to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing well, as as your old man. Hopefully that is getting better. Absolutely. But good to see you, man. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday, man.
Have traveled near and far to be in the area where the Pope currently rests. They also just want to be in the midst of the Pope as he is
organized insanity.
This health scare at this hour. So sharing this with you on this Monday. Of course, as we get more updates here on Live Now from Fox, you'll be the first to know. We are going to take our third 2 minutes.
No, we're not. But we are done with the Pope. All right, so now here goes the UN human rights bullshit. Like, this is like a Human Rights Council opens for the first session of 2025. I don't give a fuck, gonna be honest. They go on for quite some time. Look, it just keeps on going and going and going. Like, I honestly don't give a single fuck. Now, I don't know who this dude is. I have no idea. Never heard of him. Don't know what his backstory is. But the next story we're covering basically is today marks the 3 years since Russia launched invasion of Ukraine. So I am interested in hearing, at least if they translate here, I'd love to be able to hear this breaking news.
In Kyiv, Ukraine, right now.
And let me back it up so I can hear what she's saying.
Both arrived, and it's Doug.
Yeah, because her report would be a lot easier for us to understand than hearing their political bullshit talk.
And as Doug mentioned, as the country marks 3 years of the war against Russia, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa both arrived in Kyiv, Ukraine on this Monday ahead of events to mark the start of the war 3 years ago. Looking ahead, we know an emergency summit is set to be held by leaders of the 27 European countries on March 6th. Regarding Ukraine and Europe's security. But on this Monday, an emergency briefing underway in Kyiv, Ukraine. Right now, you're getting a live look inside of that meeting. We've been popping in and out of the meeting all morning, as most of it has not been in English, but we had a few comments in English, such as the one from the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. This happening.
See, I guess everyone didn't speak English. You know, one person.
In Kyiv, Ukraine. They're calling this an anniversary meeting. So,
yeah, it's true,
again,
Emerald.
You're getting a live look inside there. The European leaders' visit comes after U.S. President Donald Trump reversed course on support to Ukraine and on the U.S.'s commitment to defending its European allies. That leads us to our question and poll that we are conducting on this Monday. We're asking you, take a look at your screen.
There's the poll. Okay, let's see if our poll is going to be anywhere close. So let's go ahead and end it. So let's see what it is. It is 75% said yes, 20% said indifferent, and 5% said no. Okay, on theirs is 67% said yes, 28% said no, and 5% said indifferent. Now that's interesting. That is interesting. At least we are still on, like, our audience right here is very similar to the way that they are thinking about this exact topic. We are pretty damn close on that with the amount of, percentages here. We're looking right around, about the same.
Think it's right. U.S. President Donald Trump reversed course on support for Ukraine. Several answers already coming in bright and early on this Monday. 67% of you say yes, 28% of you say no, 5% of you say you are indifferent. All you have to do is scan that QR code on your screen or go to livenowfox.com/connect to make your selection. Of course, we will share those selections throughout our morning right here on Live Now from Fox. As I did mention, this live event underway this Monday, as today marks 3 years since Russia launched an invasion of Ukraine. They're holding this anniversary summit out in Kyiv, Ukraine. I do want to see if this speaker's in English. Let's listen in.
Of all the Ukrainian victims with all the Ukrainian people.
At 99, Emerald? Holy shit. 99. That's a long life. But I'm sorry that pneumonia got him, but that is a long life. Damn.
So many times, and we will continue saying it with the same vigor. Slovenia stands in solidarity with the Ukrainian people as they defend their homeland.
I have no idea about that claim, Tiffany. I'm going to be very honest. I don't know anything about the Pope, to be honest. I really don't know shit about him. I'm not Catholic. So, I mean, I never really cared, but that's just me. I don't know.
And they are not fighting only for their country, but for our common values, freedom, democracy, and human dignity. Slovenia is a
Huggy, good morning.
Of the international law. We all want end of the aggression, but it matters greatly how the peace process ends. The result of the peace talks will determine the future of the European security, and this cannot be decided without Ukraine and Europe. We need a lasting solution and a just peace based on the UN Charter. We remain a strong supporter of Ukraine on its European path. Decision about the Ukrainian NATO membership is, as agreed at the NATO summit in Washington, irreversible. It must remain at the negotiating table. Slovenia, especially in its capacity as a member of United Nations Security Council, will continue sparing no effort in being active on the diplomatic front in helping Ukraine achieve just and lasting peace with sufficient security guarantees. Many important things have been said.
Is that really what the meeting is about, Mr. Mister? Meeting is about what to do without Americans' support for NATO. Ooh, that makes me even want to like watch that much more
Today, and I'm glad we gathered in such a big number and showed such strong and unwavering support for Ukraine. Let me just fully support the Finnish President Alex Stubb elements of the process he laid out earlier. We should work along those lines he presented with unity and due diligence. Thank you for your attention and Slava Ukraini.
Дуже вам дякуємо. Зараз маю честь надати слово
Shit. What's up, Elbow? Good morning, by the way, man.
Руслану Стефанчуку, голові
See,
Верховної Ради.
I'm not going to listen to this. Nah. All right. So Pope Francis resting after the 10th night in the hospital. Here he is coming out of some sort of car.
And is still receiving supplemental oxygen.
Yeah. So he's on oxygen and he's on a few other things. I forget what it all is, but we got enough of that. Then the UN Human Rights Council still is going on. It goes on for fucking all day, dude. So we're just going to nicely skip right on over that. Let's see what this headline is. I just saw it. New York City Roosevelt Hotel migrant shelter set to close. That is a W, by the way. Abso-fucking-lutely. Let's go ahead and hear this story. I didn't even know this was a thing yet, so I'm just finding out, just like you are. So let's go ahead and find out what they're saying about this.
Back to life now from Fox, giving you a beautiful skyline shot out in the Big Apple this Monday as we're following breaking news. The Roosevelt Hotel Migrant Intake Center is closing down. In a statement released this morning, the city says the center is no longer needed as the number of...
Shit, what's up, Brother Slim? Yeah, you're right, dude. I've been slacking. If you guys are just coming into the show, man, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube, and it's free, by the way. Listen, I don't ask you guys to send in money or anything like that. I just ask you guys to hit that like button. It helps out the show immensely. You don't have to like the world's chaos, but you guys can like it for me and my takes and what I do over here. Appreciate it.
Migrants entering the city has dropped drastically.
What's up, Slim, by the way? Good morning.
Fox 5 New York's Briella Tomasetti has the story.
The Roosevelt Hotel, which served as both our asylum arrival center and the Humanitarian Emergency Response and Relief Center for nearly 2 years, will be closing.
Mayor Adams announced the news in a nearly 2-minute-long video released by City Hall.
I bet you there are so many lefties in New York right now that are going to lose their mind over this shit. How many lefties do you think are going to fucking just lose their fucking gore in New York over this? And not only over this, but over Adams. I mean, he's already been kind of going against the liberal grain over there on that side, in New York. And now they've been calling for his resignation and dropping out. And he's like, I'm not stepping down I'm not stepping down at all. I'm stepping up for Americans. And now we're seeing a migrant shelter closing at some, I guess at the Roosevelt Hotel, which is considered a migrant shelter. I'm sure that he's going to hear a lot of bullshit on this.
He says the Roosevelt Hotel will close its doors in the coming months, marking a significant milestone in the city's migrant crisis. The Midtown Manhattan Hotel was transformed into a migrant arrival center in May of 2023 and has since processed tens of thousands of migrants each day. But the mayor says that number has now dwindled down to the hundreds.
With the city receiving an average of 4,000 arrivals each week. Now, thanks to our policies, we're down to an average of just 350 new arrivals each week.
The site provided a variety of supportive services, including legal assistance and medical care. For instance, migrants who wanted to connect with family or friends elsewhere were given bus tickets out of the state. Those in need of shelter were assigned to a site and given instructions on how to apply for asylum.
Our administration has skillfully managed this crisis. which has seen over 232,000 migrants enter our city asking for shelter.
According to City Hall, there are currently fewer than 45,000 migrants in the city's care, down from a high of 69,000 in January of 2024. More than 84% of eligible adults in the city's care have applied for work authorization, allowing for the city to close all tent-based shelters by the end of this summer. Several other large sites housing more than 1,000 migrants will also close within that time frame.
We're closing 53 sites within the span of a year.
While City Hall refrained from saying how much it costs to keep the Roosevelt Hotel running, Adams was a major critic of the Biden administration's migrant response and repeatedly called on the federal government for more money.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
He did. Back then, he was I looked at that shit as some bullshit. I mean, he was saying, no, we need money for these migrants. No, you don't. Fucking illegals. What do you need money for illegals for, dude?
Attorneys filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration on Friday after FEMA revoked more than $80 million in migrant funding, citing concerns over illegal activities at a hotel. The suit argues that the funds were previously approved and then paid out by FEMA.
Illegal activities happening at the Roosevelt Hotel, which is a migrant shelter? Fucking shocking. No, I never would have thought these guys would have ever committed a single fucking crime ever, let alone them being here alone is a fucking crime.
To be removed from a city bank account on February 11th
Sounds about right.
Without notice.
That was Briella Tomasetti reporting there, giving you another live look at the Big Apple skyline as we take our final 2-minute commercial break of the hour. We'll be right back.
Yep, NATO too, the UN. We even fund fucking the EU. I mean, we fund all this bullshit. Yeah, we pay like 170 fucking countries a year, you know. It's kind of fucking crazy, actually. We pay majority of the world. Yeah, we got deals with everybody. It's insane. Nope. We're skipping right through this motherfucker. So here's the EU Commission. I guess they're having some fucking meeting today. I don't give a shit. I'm going to be honest. Never have given a shit about these people. So we're just going to go ahead and skip right over that. Elon Musk email to federal workers met with the resistance. I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Elon Musk wrote an email to basically all the federal workers and said, listen, if you guys don't reply back to me and what your guys' is like weak achievements and accomplishments of your whatever position you're in, if you haven't sent anything to me by the end of the week, then I'll just take that as your resignation to federal employees. So now, of course, it's going to be met with resistance. Of course.
Musk has said this is nothing more.
Let's go ahead and back this up a little bit so we can get full context. Go and back it up. So you guys can get full context as well, just in case, because not everybody's going to know this right out the gate. Let's go ahead and play this.
8:09 here on the East Coast, and welcome back to Live Now from Fox. As we continue with your Monday morning headlines, Elon Musk emailed federal workers.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, Papa, that his change really flopped right when Trump, basically once everyone found out that he was the winner of the race, that's when he kind of changed his attitude, Papa. It was really weird. And I mean, I look at it as it's never too late to get your head out of your ass type of situation, but it is fishy.
Workers requesting they send what they got done last week. Well, that email was met with resistance, with some government agencies telling employees to disregard. Fox 5 DC's Melanie Onwick joining us live this morning with the very latest on this controversial topic. Melanie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Janae. It feels like another day, another drama here on Capitol Hill. Federal workers either posting on social media or speaking privately say they have no problem sharing the work that they do for the American people. But to get a directive like this over the weekend just really didn't hit right.
Wow, Mr. That's crazy.
Angry and disgusted. It's just disrespectful for someone who claims that they don't have any authority and aren't part of the federal government to insult us in that way, to question what our worth is and what we're doing.
The email was titled, "What did you do last week?" It hit inboxes on Saturday night. Elon Musk then followed with a thread on X that fed workers who did not respond by 11:59 p.m. Monday with 5 things that they accomplished would be fired. Musk's directive comes after President Trump urged him to be more aggressive, despite Doge gaining access to more than a dozen federal agencies and the firing
Scare
of
the hell
thousands
out
of
of me.
federal workers. There is confusion among the agency heads, among federal workers, the unions, and significant pushback. Newly confirmed FBI Director Kash Patel among those telling their agency personnel to hold off, saying the FBI has its own procedures. Critics say this is anything but efficient.
It shows that, again, this type of idea of Musk coming in there with the chainsaw that he was famously brandishing at a political event in Washington, D.C. this week, it's a lot more complicated than that. Running government's a lot more complicated than that.
The State Department, Department of Defense, the National Security Agency, Health and Human Services also reportedly telling workers to wait for more guidance. Now, Elon Musk has said this is nothing more than a pulse check and that it's not terribly complicated for federal workers to do this. However, the unions representing almost a million federal workers say, don't respond to this. Talk to your agency head. And if you end up having any kind of negative action like being fired for failure to respond, the union will have your back.
All right, Fox 5 DC's Melanie Onwick, always stellar and detailed reporting. Thank you so much. A lot of eyes on this story, Melanie, so people can see what happens in the long run. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
As we further discuss this topic, giving you a live look at the U.S. Capitol here at 8:12 on the East Coast. And while we are in DC, also want to take you back out to the White House to show you this live look again as we are awaiting the French president, Emmanuel Macron.
Honestly, I don't know about that, VT. I don't know what Kash Patel actually said regarding Musk. I'm going to be honest. Don't know. Otherwise, I would give you my take. But with regards to that, is he talking about federal employees or in what regard? Like who's to ignore Elon Musk? You know, the general public? That'd be interesting.
Macron to arrive.
Sounds like a conflict of interest, but
White House to meet with President Donald Trump. We are keeping a close eye on the U.S.-French relations this morning.
Yep, Mr. That's what I call a purge. Yes, sir.
Today marks the 3rd year anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war. We're going to have the very latest from Fox News correspondent Doug Luzader when we come back.
All right, we're going to skip past that as well. All right, today, okay, they're going back into discussion of Russia-Ukraine, but looks like they have some update shit. So that's all some footage we have not seen yet. So let's go ahead and watch that real quick. Let's see, back this up a little bit. What is going on here?
Stories and head.
Oh, man. Okay, boom. My apologies.
8:14 here on the East Coast, and welcome back to Live Now from Fox. As we continue with your top stories and headlines on this Monday, we are following breaking news. It has now been 3 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. A number of world leaders meeting in Kyiv today to mark the...
Yes, please do, by the way, Mr. Definitely let me know what you find up with your, findings.
Anniversary. As Fox News correspondent Doug Luzader reports from Washington this morning, President Donald Trump is pressing forward with his plan to end the war.
President Trump will be meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron.
Now I understand, Hardwire. Got you.
At the White House today, and this will be a central point of contention, how to bring this devastating war to an end.
Gunpowder Nitro, good morning, kind sir. Good to see you, by the way.
Russia marked the run-up to today's
Cornell,
anniversary
that's right.
with a wave
it's true.
Of drone attacks on Ukraine's capital.
Good morning, by the way.
Weekend. Good to see you. It was just as a number of European leaders were set to arrive there in recent hours.
Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ukraine.
There were pleasantries, but growing uncertainty about what comes next. Overnight, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky posted a statement on X, offering thanks for what he calls 3 years of resistance and 3 years of gratitude. When the war began 3 years ago, many thought it would be over in days or weeks.
Hey, Beezer, be good out there, man. Always appreciate you. And thank you for the 5 gifted subs, by the way, 5 gifted memberships. Very, very appreciate that. Helps out the show immensely, man. And hopefully you be safe out there. And if you are on the PlayStation later, or not, I'm PlayStation, you're on Xbox or whatever. But if you're on, Black Ops 6 later, let me know. Hit me up. We'll end up playing. We'll do something.
But Russian
see you, man.
missteps and Ukrainian resolve led to a protracted conflict, with Zelensky initially gaining widespread support from the U.S.
The only thing he was really good at was playing Joe Biden like a fiddle. He played him like a fiddle.
President Trump in recent days has blamed Ukraine for the war as he has moved forward with negotiations with Russia to end it. And one of his chief negotiators expressed hope over the weekend.
I would say that I'm optimistic and positive, just as the president is, that we can get something done rather quickly.
But White House efforts to reach an accord with Russian President Vladimir Putin and a decision to exclude Ukraine from the talks have unnerved many European leaders and angered Ukraine's supporters in Congress.
Now you have Trump administration trying.
So, Mike Ball, the video you just showed said Patel told FBI employees to pause responding to what did you do email question. Got you. See, I even missed that. I think I was reading your guys' comments, and that does happen. That does happen a lot. There's a lot of chat, and I try to obviously take in both the information that I'm hearing at the same time and read and show off and, still be able to provide commentary. So sometimes I do miss that shit. So thank you for that, because I was wondering where that kind of came from.
Trying to whitewash all of that history and really change and reverse it. I mean, that's why people are experiencing such whiplash around the world.
And we now expect a European summit next week on Ukraine, with talk of additional sanctions on Russia as the war enters year 4. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
Fox News.
All right, Doug, thank you so much for that detailed report. And as we further discuss this breaking news headline, we're asking you this morning, do you think it's right that U.S. President Donald Trump reversed course on support for Ukraine?
Yes.
As mentioned, as we are marking 3 years.
Do I think it's right? Not only do I think it's right, but I fucking support it 100%. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. For me. Okay? Just saying.
Russia launched that full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Several votes coming in on this Monday. Right now, 75% of you say yes, 24% of you say no, 1% of you are indifferent. You can continue to let us know what you think by scanning.
Yeah, you too, Cornell. Always appreciate, people coming in, hanging out, engaging, you know what I mean? Always appreciate that. And by the way, thank you to everybody that's here, because we can't do this shit without you. But make sure you guys hit that like button as well, man. Helps out the show immensely. And Are We Not Men asks, where are our fucking emojis? Okay, so check it out. I did hire somebody. She's really, really cool at what she does. She sent me a whole bunch of her previous emotes that she made or whatever. And they are a little expensive, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with paying, to get quality. Anyways, I hired her on Friday, I believe. Friday, something like that. Anyway, she said it would be about 3 or 4 days until I got the first, set of them to where I can review it and ask for changes type of thing. It's just kind of like a first draft. But by the end of by the start of next week, by Monday, I can pretty much guarantee we'll have all of our emotes by then. But right now I'm getting 4 really, really, really nice ones done. And then she's going to be also doing text ones like shit, like the shit, and, different little sayings. There's going to be an emoji of an actual prosthetic leg. There's going to be some stuff that we're going to do with it. But yeah, okay. So just so you know, we're on it. We're on it. Are we not, man? Shit.
That QR code on your screen, or by going to livenowfox.com/connect. For further analysis of this headline, I want to take you back out to the nation's capital, giving you a live look there at the White House. As I did mention, French President Emmanuel Macron is expected to be in D.C. today for close talks with President Donald Trump. It is expected that one of their topics of discussion will be conflict with Russia and Ukraine. So we are keeping a close eye on this. It is slated for him to arrive around noon Eastern time, but he could arrive a little.
It's game over for the lefties. It's just game over. At least for now, you know, it's over. But yeah, KP, yeah, I did see that as well.
Sooner, since we already have the shot, but you can rest assured that right here on Live Now from Fox.
I know, but you never DM me. So, way of the road. Hey, listen, that kind of shit works two ways. If you wanted it so bad, you could have been like, hey, let me go ahead and go out of my own way to go ahead and contact whoever I need to contact so we can get Mike hooked up. But no, you didn't want to take initiative. So somebody like me, Daddy, had to take care of the situation and just fucking get it done. Shit. Stop the cat.
Keeping a close eye. Not the cat. 8:18 here on the East Coast, and we are following some breaking news right now. I want to transition the shot on your screen, getting the very latest from Fox Business this morning. We are learning Apple is committing $500 billion.
Yes, and I did see that. Instead of them, you know, making factories or whatever in Mexico, Apple is committed to $500 billion investment in the United States, which is a humongous fucking win for America, by the way. $500 billion influx to our economy.
To the U.S. economy in a historic initiative. The company announcing it on this Monday, marking an extraordinary new chapter in the history of American innovation.
Yeah, that's huge.
Apple's 11-figure commitment will roll out over the next 5 years. It will involve...
Man, I don't even got a 5-figure commitment to give you. You know what I mean? Shit.
An advanced AI server manufacturing.
What's up, Screw Plan? Good morning. Good morning.
As well as doubling the company's advanced manufacturing fund from $5 billion to $10 billion. The tech giant also plans to establish an Apple Manufacturing Academy in Detroit, as well as hire 20,000 new employees with focuses on research and development, silicon engineering, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. President Donald Trump making this statement on your screen on Truth Social moments ago. He says, quote, Apple has just announced a record $500 billion investment in the United States of America. The reason? Faith in what we are doing, without which they wouldn't be investing 10 cents. Thank you, Tim Cook and Apple, end quote. Again, that coming from President Donald Trump. Now, the company said in a statement, this new pledge builds on Apple's long history of investing in American innovation and advanced high-skilled manufacturing, and will support a wide range of initiatives that focus on AI, silicon engineering, and skills development for students and workers across the country. Apple also plans to expand teams and facilities in numerous states, as I mentioned, Michigan, Texas, California, Arizona, Nevada, Iowa, Oregon, North Carolina, and Washington. In a statement, Apple CEO Tim Cook said that his company is, quote, bullish on the future of American innovation, end quote. This is a developing story. We'll continue to follow this right here on Live Now from Fox. 8:20 here on the East Coast. Let's go to a quick 2-minute commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hell no. Not you and your fucking commercial break, dude. All right. Now, I think that's actually pretty much it. We do have some, where we have David Mencer, speaking for the Israeli government, which I'm actually not really that interested at all today about. But the headline is Israeli government update after the IDF tanks were sent into the West Bank. I'm sure they're doing their, kind of clearing up that area
and
now.
To embolden Hamas.
I really don't care about this right this second, because there's no real crazy threat or anything going on like that. Let's see. UN holds ceremony for murdered Israeli hostages. That's nice of them to do. The UN holds emergency special session on Ukraine. Don't give a fuck about the UN. They suck ass. Let's see. When we catch up to live right here, right now. Okay, federal workers sue over Elon Musk's email demand. You could see that coming. Oh, we got some pushback. We hate this shit. Now we're going to sue you. Whatever, dude. Whatever. Florida sheriffs discuss ICE security and immigration. We know that they're extremely harsh on immigration over there in Florida, as I think that's fantastic. And the last, where we are currently sitting right this second, Americans for Prosperity hosts a discussion on Trump administration initiatives, and also don't give a fuck. Yeah, but that was huge regarding the Apple thing, $500 billion, basically them investing into our economy is fantastic, because those Apple factories and all that money was actually going to go to Mexico until Trump intervened and said, no, we're going to figure out something. You know what I mean? And so he made it happen. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and find somebody to go ahead and give a raid over to. Let's see who is live. Who's live, man? We're going to find out right now. I'm popping it up. Make sure when we go over to whoever we're doing, whoever's live right now, whoever we decide to raid, you guys let them know it's a Mike Ball raid. We're coming in hot, having a good ass time, and whatever, man. Let's see who's live. Oh, we got Jess that's live right now. Let's go ahead and give her a raid. You know what I mean? So much love, honor, respect to every single one of you guys. I can't do this freaking show without you guys. I can't thank you enough for your support. And listen, man, I have, like, being able to do this is an honor, and I'm very honored to be able to do this shit, and I'm very grateful. It's something that I've been dreaming about doing for 18 fucking years, man. So honestly, I'm very appreciative of all of you guys being here, and just even you guys just watching and liking the video, man, helps out immensely. And hopefully that you guys stay safe out there. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness. Until then, God bless and be safe out there, everybody. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar,